Finally, a mount, a mighty steed I can use to ride gracefully across the land. Come, my noble stallion, let us strike fear into the hearts of our enemies. What the balls is this? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife, and this is Worst MMO Ever, a series where I play the worst MMO games I can find so you don't have to. Drop a like on the video or sub to the channel for more MMO stuff. Ring the bell for all the future notifications. As usual, a massive thank you to the Patreon supporters and Twitch subs who keep the channel going. More on how you can support at the end. For now, let's begin. Today I am playing another generic Korean action grindfest called Aion. Aion is what would happen if you took Terra and changed the name to Aion. If you've played MMOs before and I say, hey, quick, think of the most generic action MMORPG Korean game you can and then fill it with way too many upgrade systems, I guarantee you are picturing Aion. Aion's Steam page is mostly negative, and as we play we'll come to see why, and I'm sure there will be Aion fanboys screaming at me in the chat saying how the game is thriving and I'm just a hater and how Aion is actually an underappreciated masterpiece. If anyone ever tries to tell you that Aion is doing well, just remind them, Aion is published by Gameforge. First hurdle, downloading the game is a pain. It downloads from Steam and then patches, but it applies each patch on top of the previous, so the percent bar means nothing. This is traditional Gameforge. You're going to have to sit there for a few hours until it decides it's ready. Now we need to make an account, and the game proudly states it's hardcore PvP. Well, okay, I'll see if there's any going on later on. And now, character creation. We have to choose a side. Angels versus demons. Asmodeans versus Elios. I think I'll go with demons. I mean, since playing Isekai Demon Waifu, I think I am still the Demon Lord. Lots of classes to choose from, all in cool looking black and red, nice selection animation and stat panels. I like choosing classes that I've not seen in many games before, so I'll go with the engineer. Look at this guy, he looks badass, looks no nonsense, looks like a man other men fear, brains and brawn. So let's choose this class and... what the actual hell? What is this? Is this what I start the game looking like? How? Why? I know most of these Korean MMOs are basically just super flashy dress-up games with some combat, but this is stupid. What an aesthetic shift. I go back and, okay, you know what, I'll choose the artist instead. And what is this face? What is this character creator? Why do I look like a background character from some cheap anime? I pick a few more classes and I find out it's actually randomized. I just happen to have got the two dumbest randomizations first. Eventually I stumble upon an engineer riding in a giant mech. So yes, let's be this dude. Oh, I also get to pick a voice for the character, and just see if you can hear the issue here.
감히 날 건드리다니. 감히 날 건드리다니. 결투다. 한판하기 좋은 날씨군. 내가 그렇게 만만한 줄 알아? 이 정도는 아무것도 아니죠.
So they've not actually localized the voice acting. Aion is mostly voiced, but it's mostly voiced in Korean. The cutscenes have English if you're lucky, but the gameplay is all Korean. Finalize the character and he gives me the finger guns. Oh, you know someone is cool when they do the double finger guns. Game starts, we are instantly told we've finished a mission, and then we're thrown into an intro cinematic. Let's watch this together with no context, because that's the same amount of context that I had when I had to watch it.
A piece of the relic. Insects, you seem to draw blood. You've accomplished nothing.
Wake up from your slumber and return to the frigid lair. I shall await you there, welcoming the storm.
It's your destiny. Please, finish this. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Come back to your senses. Did you have a vision? Old Munin is looking for you.
Quick note to budding game designers, if you're going to run your voice actors' voices through a billion filters, please have subtitles on as standard. Game starts, WASD movement, left click to move, spacebar is jump. Annoyingly, A and D are turn the camera, not strafe as they should be, but rebinding the keys is really easy, good job there. The UI is Korean action MMO. If you've played Terra, or Riders of Icarus, or Estelia Royal, or others, the UI looks like them. It's got that instantly recognisable style of smooth and safe, while also being stunningly outstandingly forgettable. The mailbox has a bird spinning on it. We have a quest. Talk to this girl. Thankfully, the journal has a locate NPC function highlighting them on your map, which is actually quite handy. Now, using the map, journal, or location feature is basically a cascade of various pop-up windows, but we'll talk about that later. Combat support. What's this? It's a button with a target on it, so I click it and I start shooting at a nearby guard, who then runs over and kills me in one hit. Ah, right. Aion is a grind game, so there's a built-in auto-combat bot program, and using this to grind is a main gameplay mechanic. You can set up your skills and your potions, click start, and then leave it for a few hours to gain experience. And if you're thinking, that sounds like Metin 2, yeah, they're published by the same people. So again, there is voice acting, but in Korean. Now, I've not downloaded the Korean version of the game. I'm playing on the international server, they've just not bothered recording the lines in English, which I understand would be expensive. But if you don't want to record them in English, just turn them off for the English version of the game. After some thrilling talking back and forth, we get some more cutscene. The opening quest is literally read these books and remember the game's intro. This is taking text dump to a new level. Oh, I wonder if there's a flashy neon wing animation when you level up. Oh, come on, it's a Korean game. Of course there's a flashy neon wing animation when you level up. Prove my combat skills to this dude by shooting a scarecrow, then pass a multiple choice exam based on the info I read in the books a moment ago. Game designers, let's have a chat. Lore is extra. It is the player's choice to indulge in it or not. You proudly advertised hardcore PvP gameplay on your download. The Steam intro shows nothing but action combat, and your opening section is a pop quiz on your in-game lore. You are aiming at a crowd who want action and delivering written tests. We're sent to rescue someone called Rhea, and we need to kill some sprigs to make this happen. You ready for combat? Here we go.
거리가 너무 멉니다.
I mean, this one might be on me. I did choose a ranged class, so I can't expect thrilling close-up battles, but this is basically tab target with flashy effects. You're locked in place when using a skill, you have some skills which can chain together, you have auto-attacks to weave between skills. It's the classic tab target system we've seen before, and it's not bad, and for being released in 2008, it's perfectly serviceable. On a positive aspect, the game environments look really nice. The colour palette is vivid and varied, the distant hills and trees and vines look great, the sky has this very ethereal aura to it, the models don't clip, the set dressing is all perfectly scaled. Aion is a nice looking game. While I'm running along, I can see the UI is flashing, and flashing UI usually means click me, and it's a trope in Korean games, so let's click it. Lugbug's daily rewards, combined with time-gated achievements and rewards, so a system to keep you playing. Lunar Cube Crafting Workshop with a free daily craft and some upgrade stuff, so a system to keep you playing. And the shop. Now, I've played a Gameforge game or two, so I'm wondering if... Yep. Yes, it is. Gameforge games all have the exact same shop layout. Runes of Magic, Metin 2, Terra, Aion, all different in their own way, but all, in a much more accurate business-like way, exactly the same to Gameforge. Seriously, this is almost impressive in its lack of personality. When I say games companies see design as emotionless business decisions for profit and not artistic opportunities for fun, this is what I mean. Make no mistake, these games are vehicles for their shop. If the shop was removed, the game would be too. Do you want proof? Okay. These games are completely willing to sell immersion and aesthetic cohesion breaking items to make a quick buck. Look. This car mount is available in the shop, and let's not forget, Terra has those stupid cars as well. But here's an example of mathematical abuse. Here's a pack being sold for 2,800 premium currency, actually reduced down from 3,499. How would you buy this? Well, most cash shop based games use predatory price brackets, so you're always just below what you need to pay, forcing you to pay more. And they also make it specifically difficult to combine lower packs to make the value you need. Here's proof. This pack costs $2,800. You can buy 2,525 premium currency for £100. That's $137. That's not enough. The next pack up is 5,100 currency for £200 or $274, but that's too much. So how about combining two smaller packs? Well, you can combine the 2,525 pack for £100 and the 150 pack for £10 and still only reach 2,675 currency. Not quite enough. The cheapest way to afford to buy the discounted pack, and make no mistake, it's been discounted to this exact amount to be mathematically abusive, is to buy the £100 pack and the £25 pack. A reduced item, a set of items that will make you more powerful, literally being paid to win, will set you back £125. I will explain why this shop is so expensive later, because it's actually by design. So now let's jump from awful, abusive, anti-player shop design to actually quite good game design. The world map is really nice. Right-click zooms out the above layer, left-click zooms into an area. It's super easy to navigate, and I like the stylized drawings of the places. The early game, as in all Korean MMOs, is a linear path to find an NPC you won't remember and will never again be relevant. It's extremely samey. I honestly feel like I've been on this adventure before. We get told Rei is being held by a witch and no one wants to go and rescue her because the witch might be evil, so we go, and of course the witch is fine, she just wants supplies, so we kill some local wildlife and fuel this old lady's desire for blood. She rewards us by giving us a piece of candy which turns us into a mushroom, standard old lady stuff. Oh, while I was browsing my inventory, I saw a load of free potions. Potions that boost speed, attack power, recovery rate. You know the type, your bog standard pay-to-win apothecary selection. Given to you as a starting gift that will essentially become needed purchases later on. The witch teleports us to Rei, and Rei gives us a gun because Rei is straight up gangster. She then sends us to teach a farmer a lesson by picking his vegetables. If you're trying to make sense of the plot, then please stop now before you start bleeding from your ears. Oh, I have potions in my inventory that when drunk turn me into some kind of anime protagonist and massively boost all my stats for 10 minutes. Yeah, screw character creation and connection to my avatar as an extension of me. Let's just play as this OP dude for a while. I get given 3 new skills because, again, standard Korean design, the game throws skills at you with wild abandon. In a well-designed game, you're given a single skill, then an opportunity to use it to reinforce what it can do, and then given another, and in Aion you're given several all at once and wished good luck. We'll see this being even more egregious later on. 2 of these skills even have the same animation. Hold your arm out, shoot, except one has a little smoke particle at the end. Variety. Eventually we get sent up a hill into a cave and told to find the entrance to our first instance, Haranel. Now, I enjoy instants. I love defined starts, middles and ends with challenges along the way, and as an action MMO this is your chance to really shine. Let's leave plot to the side for a time being, let's go with a well-balanced action set piece. I enter and... would you like to buy a boost? That's what you're greeted with upon entering any instance. Would you like to pay real money to buy a temporary 10% stat boost for this specific instance? Gameforge have so little faith in their ability to balance a game to be fun, they offer you a straight up flat 10% boost at the start for real money. I mean that, or they're just being greedy, but come on, it's probably the balance, isn't it? I grab some quests from the NPCs at the start of this instance and make my way in. The combat is honestly mechanically fine, but just kinda dull. Maybe I'm expecting too much from a game made in 2008, but I feel like I'm just going through the motions. Destroy some minecarts, gather some raw green material, find some refined green material, and... that's strange. That green material looks kind of like Tiberium. Which reminds me actually, I'm starting a new channel called Josh Strife Plays. It's going to be me playing classic games recommended by you and just reviewing them. So basically imagine this channel, but for non-MMO games. And one of the first games I will be replaying is the first Command & Conquer. I'll be playing all the classic games from the NES era up to PlayStation 2. Links in the description if you'd be interested in that kind of stuff. Fight my way up this lift, then take on this mini-boss who takes 3 hits to kill. I'm not kidding, 3 skills and they're dead. Thrilling stuff, game. Pick some plants, which totally aren't drugs, and then interrogate this weasel, who is also the mine supervisor. Talking to him makes all of his voice clips layer together.
난 아무 잘못도 가까이 오지 마라 냥냥. 카메루는 내 능력과 내 삶까지 빼앗아간 극악무도한 해바다. 꼭 그를 처치하고 나를 여기서 해방시켜줘라.
Here is the boss fight of the first instance. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm unfairly criticising this combat system or making it sound more dull than it actually is, so I'm just going to let you watch the boss fight in full. This is the first time the game gets a chance to show you what PvE can be. Player against boss, and there is one mechanic. At low health, he summons 2 shield minions who you have to kill before killing him. They are in no way different to him mechanically. At no point was there any better tactic for me than to stand still and shoot at either him or the minions. I was in no danger at all the entire time. This is a boss fight.
화면에 겁도 없이 쳐들어왔군. 나의 숭배자들이여, 적을 공격하라!
잘못된 대상입니다.
이대로 당할 수는 없어. 보자, 나는 다시 돌아올 것이다.
And then he dies. And he's a Deva, so he sprouts wings, which is a powerful angel or demon thing. And we get loot, which is some boots that we can't wear. Report back to the camp and get teleported to Pandemonium. No, not the psychedelic PlayStation 1 platformer, which I'll be reviewing on the new channel. A hellish plane of constant battle between angels and demons. This place actually looks really cool, and we dive off into the void, sprout wings because we too are Deva, and fly to another mini-boss. Here we are attacked by Aion in the most jarring switch of gameplay and cutscene. The gameplay battle is boring as hell. The cutscene afterwards, actually quite good. So that wasn't the real Aion. That was a test. Aion is the bad guy. Or more technically, we're the bad guy. Aion is the good guy, and we're the only one who can stop him in the future. And now we choose a class. Gunner or Aether Tech. I'm hoping Aether Tech gets to use the mech we saw in character creation, so let's go with that one. And look, just look at how many skills I get given access to immediately because I chose Aether Tech. You know that overwhelming moment I talked about in the Why Players Quit Games video? This is one of them. We've been given an entire new playstyle. And instead of being shown what it is or how to use it, we're just given a ton of skills which all combine together and wished good luck. Now we teleport away to this magical floating sky castle called the Bifrost and have a quick chat with Hatsune Miku. She sends us to go and get registered as a Deva because apparently there's paperwork involved in becoming a demigod. We go have a chat to Balder in the Great Temple and get this whole deity thing moving along. Oh, to finish the subquests from the instance earlier, you need to open your quest journal and just hand them in from there. Keeps you from having to track all the way back. Just out of curiosity, I wonder how many people are actually playing Aion right now on Steam. 133. That's really not that many. Okay, we finally get greeted as a Deva and a cutscene plays, but there's dissension in the ranks. Some people don't believe we are one, and the camera dramatically zooms in on this smirking guy at the end. Clearly a setup for a story beat later. And I know I was joking about having to complete in-game paperwork to become registered as a Deva, but no, this quest is actually what you have to do. So while I'm doing in-game admin to register myself as a Deva, let's read some reviews. Oh, hang on, that's not a review, that's the video The Problem with Korean MMORPGs by Kira TV. But yeah, you should watch that afterwards. Okay, let's find some actual reviews. This game was great years ago. They just destroyed everything it made it special. Really sad. 210 hours played. Aeon's so boring this game now. Total 100% business and chatting game. No waste time played. 5,640 hours played. 40min download, 5min installing some crap, 15min updates, 5min loading screen, then I had to create an account. Nice game. Bad publisher. 3,442 hours played. Make an account on website. Error activating account. Account is banned and simultaneously does not exist. Download game on Steam. Need to make an account. Make an account via in-game link. Error activating account. Says go to support. Cannot use support unless I log in. Try to log in. Account is banned and simultaneously does not exist. Was great years ago, now down at the bottom of the pile. Only way to redeem this is to follow the classic release like they have in North America for us European players. And don't you worry, we'll be looking at Aion Classic later in this video. The next main quest line tells me I need to level up and so I should do the blue quests in town. Now, some blue quests are single time only. Some are repeatable and just used to grind experience, and you won't know until you try. Also, in order to use my mech, I need to have an Aether key, and I don't have one, and I've googled it, and Google is no help, because the wiki for this game is basically abandoned, so I'll just keep playing and hope I find one. Oh, while googling, I also discovered that Aion had a classic server launched called Aion Classic. I always find it quite telling when the most popular update to an MMO is the removal of several years' worth of updates. Kind of proves it hasn't been going in the right direction for a while now. And then I found this article. Aion Classic experiences one of the fastest MMO deaths. Basically, people left live Aion because it was pay to win, and they returned to Classic Aion, which wasn't meant to be. But players discovered an abusive tactic where you could buy candies and then sell them in the in-game shop for massive amounts of gold, and the game became pay to win within the first hour. Good job, Aion. People left you because you became pay to win, you launched a classic server, and made that even more pay to win. I have some tutorial quests that need doing, but I can't start them until I'm out of combat, and despite the fact that I'm stood in a safe city with no enemies around, the game still thinks I'm in combat. Combat just isn't exciting. It's fine, it works, skills happen, damage is taken, and it just feels passionless. Everything so far has felt like a filler arc in an anime. The opening was just filling in the plot. The paperwork was filling in travelling. Even the combat feels like it's just filling in time. Aion feels like a game that is made of filler between things happening, but those things don't ever happen. It is the video game version of a TV clip show episode. Finish the quest, go and hand them in. Mistime this jump and just yeet myself into oblivion, then burn up in the acid below. You'd think if they had a city above acid, they'd build a net or something. My current quest needs me to gather 20 ocals, but I have no clue where to get them, so I'm just blindly running around and hoping. I find Stan, he gives me some repeatable quests and talks about K-pop groups being great. And I say quests, but every quest is just go kill X or collect X task. Korean MMOs have this really strange relationship with plot. They drop a huge amount of fleshed out world building on you at the start, usually in a cutscene or a voiceover or a massive text dump. And then they just forget about world building. I swear, the way Korean MMOs deal with plot and story is a trope by now. It's always the beginning of your game is a complex story of good versus evil and the 1,000-year history of the entire kingdom with named characters doing good or bad things, and then in the game it's just go kill 10 shibble-dibbles because Preet the farmer has a bad knee. Also, remember that transform potion I have? It's massively OP. It boosts all my stats, and this is one of my biggest issues with Korean MMOs. And it has to do with the lack of personal connection or the reasons for not having a personal connection with your avatar or your game world. A potion that transforms you into someone else with better stats is basically saying you as a player or a character are not good enough. If the most efficient way to play is to buy a potion that looks like someone else, then your own emotional connection to your own avatar is going to be destroyed every time you drink that potion, because you are not playing as you are playing mechanically as somebody else. Games that sell immersion-breaking aesthetics like car mounts or character-altering potions are saying that despite their incredibly deep front-loaded lore, they don't actually care about the graphical or logical cohesion of their world. This is not a finely tuned, fantastical story you are taking part in. It's a virtual environment for players to control pixels around and buy better pixels in. That is all. It's not an artistically handcrafted world, it's not a Second Life. It's a playground where personal connection to anything is pointless, because no matter how seriously you want to take the game, you can guarantee they would put a literal pile of shit as a mount in the cash shop if they thought enough people would buy it. Hand in the quest, go and do more. I need to grind to unlock the main quest. The only saving grace in the last hour has been this rope bridge, and that's only because rope bridges are cool. I find a list of instances, and because I like dungeons and want to do another one, I look through it and basically every dungeon in the game is a level 80 instance. The first was 8, the next is 31. They have backloaded the majority of content and then wonder why people will leave before they get to the end game. This is terrible design. The first 5 minutes of your game is massive exposition, story and plot dump, and the last part of your game is massive amount of content. But the middle bit of the game, the bit the majority of your players will experience, contains virtually no world building and virtually no instances. Aion isn't mechanically bad. The camera controls well, the character moves responsibly, the combat is lag-free, the item and skill usage is super fast, the menu opens fine. Like, from a technical standpoint, it works. It's just so bland to actually play because the balance of story to personal relationship to the character is so skewed. Sometimes I'll go and use a skill and it's on cooldown and some Korean lady will shout at me.
대상이 없습니다.
Hand in some quests, hit level 18, unlock the next set of repeatables at another camp further into the map. Linear design, a hallmark of the Korean Grindfest MMO. Move from A to B, accept a load of quests, grind, same old song and dance. I am at least becoming somewhat of a pro with the combat system, weaving in my skills around my auto attacks and putting out at least, maybe 3 or 4% more damage. I mean, I could just drink a stat boosting potion from the cash shop and do infinitely better, but hey, I'm proud of what I've learned. Hit level 19, unlock more story, get told an old friend awaits me at the next camp, so I fly there, and when I arrive, I have never seen this person before in my life. And the next story quest is to grind until I reach level 27. Are you for real? Is that the actual quest? But finally, I open some random boxes in my inventory and I get an Aether key. I can use the mech suit, and it looks pretty awesome. It's a lot slower than walking, but let's just see how it plays. It is really boring. Like, even with the mech skill chains and punches and a massive gun, combat feels the same. Not even a giant mech can make Aion feel engaging. But I've got a mount in my inventory, and because my inventory is full of free gifts the game has been vomiting into it, it's filling up pretty quickly. So I just click on them all, and this is the mount I get. You know, earlier when I said Korean MMOs are directionless playgrounds for selling cosmetics with no consistent cohesive style? This is what I'm talking about. This is the game you were advertised. This is the game you play. These games are not RPGs, they are monetized, distraction-based child minding. The next quest sees me hunting down some kid whose dad got lost. Seems he was heading to join a group of people who promised he too could become a Deva. Trust me dude, you don't want that. There's a mountain of paperwork and they give you a shit horse. The only way I'll recognise the kid's dad is by his wine holder, so off I go. Remember when I crossed the first rope bridge and I said this is cool? That was an hour ago. I've cut out most of my gameplay time because honestly, nothing interesting happened. I leave the game for lunch and when I return I log back in and the game does not remember your graphical settings between sessions. I had to reset the resolution. Basic stuff, game. Remember a user's settings. End up in a random library passing notes back and forth between scholars and feel like I'm back in school passing notes between teachers, and then I get taken to this strange space of destiny. They're probably going for a more unearthly, ephemeral style of playing, but if you angle the camera just right, everything goes really wavy. I get given a Sigmar stone, which powers up some system, and okay, let's just talk about the systems because I've been trying to avoid it until now. There are so many systems in this game, and they are pretty much all monetized. Sigmar stones and ability sets, item upgrades and enchantments, pets and caring for them, minions and melding them, titles that give actual buffs, weapons, runes, armor sets, potion combinations. This is bordering on mobile game levels of complexity and predatory monetization. And do you want to know why this is done? Because this is actually who the game is aiming at. Aion knows it's pay to win and it revels in it. All these types of games do. They put a system in the game, they monetize it, wait for whales to battle it out, and when that system is maxed out and all the whales are on roughly an equal level, they add more systems so the whales have more chance to whale. Aion is a game for people who enjoy paying to win, because it encourages you to do that and it's PvP. It is shameless in its plug of paying for power. Remember that £125 pack in the shop? That can be used to increase your power in PvP. You will straight up be better than someone who didn't buy it. The story thread by now has pretty much dissolved. I'm killing mine workers for the sake of repeatable quest, and I get attacked by a dragon, and then I take it down, and I get a new key for a new mech, and it's still not great. And just process that sentence again. Aion is a game where you can pilot a giant assault mech against a dragon, kill it, rip the keys to a new assault mech from its corpse, and the entire experience is just kinda dull. I hit level 27 after a long ass grind. I find the dad's wine pouch on a rope bridge and just can't be bothered, so I head back to tell the kid his dad probably got drunk and fell to his death. Here's the keys to a new assault mech. Try and punch dragons until you feel any level of joy again. Aion is the game version of a clip show flashback episode in a TV show. You've seen everything here before, done better with more context. You've seen combat better than this, you've seen mounts more fun than this, you've seen better instances and better balanced quests and better lore and better writing and better everything. It's not objectively bad or incompetently put together, it's just all filler. It is a clip show. So that's how we're going to remember it. To end the review, I will award Aion Filler Arc in an anime you can skip and not miss anything important out of 10. Thank you for watching. Another massive thank you to the Patreon supporters and Twitch subs who keep the channel alive. You can support from only £1 a month. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, and the new general gaming channel Josh Strife Plays. And as always, have a great day.